Hey guys, I recorded a Kentucky Derby Contenders and Pretenders video on April 22nd, and a lot has happened since then. So, this is just a little update on everything that's been going on. First thing that happened since that video is Malagasy and Battalion Runner were scratched. So, looking at Lee and Sonneteer are in the Derby. Also, Gervin was reported to have a quarter crack, so an injury to his foot, and that's an issue. Not that I liked him, but if you do like him, you got to be nervous about that. He trained. He still trained one time before the race, and he looked okay, but that's got to make you a little nervous. Also, workouts. The final workouts happened for all the horses. I was able to view them on tape, and to me, and I'm not a professional clocker or I don't have any expertise in this. So, but I will say that I really liked the way that McCracken worked, the way that he worked and galloped out. Also, J Boy Zecco, both of those I tossed, but they worked really well at Churchill Downs. Gormley um, and Battle of Midway also look really good in California. I like the way that they that they looked and the way that they galloped out too. So that was very interesting because I didn't give Gormley much of a chance. So he's moving up for me. I also didn't really like the time and the way that he looked for Gunnavera. So Gunnavera is one of those that's sort of trending down for me. I sort of gave him a shot to hit the board, but I'm nervous about Gunnavera. Also, on today, the post positions were drawn, and nothing really, nothing really dramatic happened. The only thing that I would say is that if you liked Practical Joke, the number 19th horse, and you can see it on this video here, number 19, he's way outside. I think he's up against it now. He's gonna have to. Um, I thought he was distance challenge, and from way out there, he's gonna have to sort of dive in and save some ground. And I think it's gonna be really challenging. Also, the one night horse Patch, he's missing an eye on his left side, so he's not going to be able to see any of the horses to his left. So if you like Patch, that's got to worry you, I think. Anyway, he's a big long shot. Didn't really have much of a chance. All the other main contenders drew fine. One other thing that I wanted to mention was that the number 5 horse, Always Dreaming, has been, to me, he's sort of been training like a sprinter. He's been really sharp fighting his rider on the jogs, and he looks like a horse that's going to go to the lead. He's just going to get to, in my opinion, he's going to freak and go to the lead or go and be near the lead and possibly tire. So it doesn't really change a whole lot for me. He's still a toss for me, and really, actually, even more so now, to be honest with you. So another thing that happened that's important to mention is that the weather sort of took a turn for the worse, and it looks like it's going to rain early in the day on Saturday, the day of the Kentucky Derby. Probably, most likely, the track is going to be wet. If it is not raining during the Kentucky Derby, the track will probably be wet, and I kind of hate this. Anything can really happen when once the track is wet, then that throws a big monkey wrench into the whole thing. And really, there might be a horse that we don't even know that loves the wet track, and he may run a huge race and ruin everything, ruin your win wagers or your exactas or trifectas. So I did sort of look into my main contenders, to see if they might like the wet track. So my number one pick is Irish War Cry, and that hasn't really changed. And he's the son of Curlin, and Curlin loved the wet track. He himself hasn't really run on a wet track yet, but Curlin loved it, loved the wet track. He won the Breeders' Cup Classic on a wet track. His sons and daughters have sort of performed well on the wet tracks. Most recent one was Exaggerated. He loved wet tracks. Last year he was really good. Um, Also, Classic Empire. He's by Pioneer the Nile, and he ran a really Pioneer the Nile. His sire, his dad, finished second in the Kentucky Derby, a really good second on a ridiculously muddy track. So, and then his dad, his grandpa, so to speak, uh, won the Belmont Stakes on a really wet track. Also, Pioneer the Nile produced American Pharoah, and American Pharoah destroyed the Preakness on a really wet track. So I don't think there's really much to worry, and Practical Joke is actually proven on a wet track. I think I think he's run on a wet track before. Yeah, he's 1 for 1 on a wet track. So not a whole lot to worry if you like Classic Empire. The other horse that I has a chance to win a big long shot. Just it's nothing really. It's just sort of a little hunch. Is Hence. Hence ran a huge race on a wet track too, so not a whole lot to worry there. He won on a sloppy track. So also the horses that move up for me are let's see, well, Gormley. So Gormley moves up for me because he trained really well. Also, he's by Malibu Moon, and that horse produced Orb, who won the last really sloppy Kentucky Derby. So he's moving way up, and I think I'm gonna. And really, I don't know why I hated him because he's won 2 Grade 1 races. Not a whole lot of horses can say that. The only other horse that can say that is Practical Joke and Classic Empire, who's won 3. None of those other horses have ever won Grade 1, so he's going to be a pretty big long shot. I mean, he's 15 to 1. He might be even higher than that. So I know that he said he was going to bounce, but at 15 to 1 with the weather turning and the good workouts, I think I might put uh, Gormley into my exacta. Probably, I don't think he can win, but he's moving up for me. Also, let's see. Who else do I need to talk about? Battle of Midway moved up because of his work. I don't see he's not really proven on a wet track, but I saw the morning line for him. It said 30 to 1. I thought that was crazy, so I'm going to include him in the exacta. Also, the horses that I think can hit the trifecta. Gunnavera, I'm still going to use him, even though I'm a little down on him because of his work. Looking at Lee, same thing. Nothing really has changed for him, even though he has a 1 hole. He has a post position 1, but that's going to be fine. He's gonna go to the back of the pack anyway and try to go around them at the end. So no problem there. And I think that is it for me. So anyway, just to wrap it up, because I didn't get to do this on the last video, the horses that I think can hit the trifecta: Gunnavera, Looking at Lee. The horses that might get in for second, possibly, Battle of Midway, Gormley, and the horses that I think have a chance to win: Irish War Cry, Classic Empire, and Hands. And I'm going to use all of those horses in exactas and trifectas. And, it's going to be a wet track. Anything can really happen. So if you want to see a more thorough video, go back to find my channel, watch the video. It's like an hour long. Thank you guys for watching.